former speaker here. The representative, Jonathan Fonati Koffa, is a lawyer. He's representing one of the constituencies in Grencoe County. As a matter of fact, he's chair of the former ruling, now immediate opposition coalition for democratic changes headquarters construction project. Recently, they launched the project. It was graced by several of their supporters, and he's here this morning for us to talk that and more other national issues. He's been writing a lot on his official Facebook page, and so we'll talk about some of those. Councillor, good morning. It's always good to have you, man, but this is our first radio interaction. I'm grateful. It's a privilege. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. I see today a lawmaker's day.
Yeah, I think so too.
Honorable K was here. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're wearing a smile.
Oh, why not? It's a great day.
Even at the court, you smile. Everywhere you smile.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have anything to worry about. God has been good. Life has been good.
How's everything?
Everything is good. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. How is your district, by the way?
My district, we have issues of concern. Unfortunately, we did not get our share of the 2024 legislative project money.
Last year?
Yes, and we are not making any progress in getting our 2025 project money, although others have gotten theirs. So we have to find alternative ways to see how best we can meet the needs of our people, because now legislative project have become a partisan issue. It's become a block issue where some of us are being punished for whatever the reason is by not giving our district the funds due to them. You go to LACE sends you to, you go to the House leadership, the House leadership sends you to LACE sends you to Ministry of Internal Affairs, and there's a whole bunch of mix-up there. But we have not gotten any of our district development funds, so we have to find an alternative way to do it. Our immediate pressing need is a bridge in Jembueti that we are trying to make sure that cut off a large portion of our population from commerce. We're trying to make sure we meet those needs.
Was any of that done when you were speaker? How was it done before?
So when I became speaker, the first year was 2024, was when I said, look, let's go back to LACE rather than give representatives money directly in their pocket. Let's go to the legislative, the LACE format where the project is identified and it's done, so it's transparent and it's accountable. It was that money that was placed in there, $50,000 per lawmaker. First it was $100,000, then it got reduced to $50,000 in the recast budget. That I never got.
Why? I mean, I thought when it is placed in the budget, it becomes, in my word, in other words, the property of the district and the lawmaker to use the people money.
But that question is mine too. We have a contractor we have identified. We've written 3 letters, and the funds are just not available. Other lawmakers have theirs.
Who is not answering you, by the way?
Nobody's answering me. I mean, nobody's answering me correctly. The House leadership is not answering. The LACE is not answering. And the Ministry of Internal Affairs is not answering. I mean, everybody will tell you, oh, we'll look into what we'll do, or they'll give you an answer that shifts the blame to someone else.
I think we'll have to reach out to the Minister of Finance when he comes back to the country, because, Mark, I don't know whether he's here now, because most of the representatives who are complaining are the people who supported you when the removal situation came about, and they are complaining that because of that, they have been punished. And you say 2025, oh, you've not gotten it?
No. I think 2025, nobody has gotten, because the money that was dispersed, in my understanding, people were now being told that it was used for speaker removal. That is what my understanding is. Whether that is true or not, other people will clarify that. But as far as I know, the 2025 has not yet come.
I know you've been removed from office.
No.
I mean,
No, let me correct you. I was not removed. I resigned May 11th.
I know you resigned from office. If that is the right word, that's the real word, in fact.
Yes.
It's over now. You have a new speaker. Just in few words, right? We'll go to the CDC issue and the Oranto deal you talk about, and we'll discuss a lot of other issues. But just in few words, where do you think you went wrong? What happened? Just in few words.
Clarence, you have to understand, I don't know if it's the issue of me going wrong. As the current speaker said, the regime was not prepared to work with someone in the opposition. They simply was not prepared. The speaker has said that over and over, that they simply were not prepared to do that. And so they use every muscle they can, especially the executive, to make sure that the place was ungovernable, forcing me to make a decision. Do we continue this battle, or for the sake of the country? I look at it like a Solomon scenario, okay? One group come and say, split the baby in half. We don't care. I got to look at it and say, this baby got to survive. The integrity of the house, the sanctity of the place, the integrity of the government structure was very important. And so I step aside from that. When the Supreme Court ruled that Fonati Koffa is the legitimate speaker, and the executive comes and says, we'll still work with the majority bloc, then at that point, I felt we were creating or preparing for a confrontation that was unnecessary.
At some point, you were very comfortable with the president. I remember in one of your interviews, you said, somebody actually you said, no, I don't think the president is playing any role. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, Clarence, any statement I made was based on the information I had at the time. But I really don't want to litigate this issue, you know.
Let's move on. Where's the CDC headquarters project at the moment?
The contractor will be in town this week. We'll submit the necessary paperwork for permits. We expect the permit to be approved in the next month or so, and actual grounds is going to be digging within that time frame.
Oh, meaning the real project hasn't started yet. Okay. I thought right after that program, boots were on the grounds already.
No, boots are on the ground in terms of doing soil testing, doing preliminary work. But the actual machine will not start digging the ground until the permit is issued. The contractor had to go do the building plans. There had to be some slight shift because we noticed there's a high tension wire and the rules regarding those. So after they came and made an additional assessment on the land, they went to make adjustment on the building plans, and they will submit that.
Okay. At the legislature, I was just asking Representative Neke Gay. I was saying to him, I'm concerned about the speaker's recent action of always asking the side your arm to ask lawmakers out whenever they were ready to speak out on some issues. It happened to Yeke, it happened to Anthony Williams. But he was telling me that, yeah, those actions are in conformity with your rules. I mean, there are times when you are deemed being disobedient or obstructing the flow, they ask you out. Are you concerned about the recent lawmakers just asking people out, the speaker asking people out? And he said the speaker is supposed to use his gavel.
I'm concerned about the instability in the House. Of course, that's a major organ of government. I wouldn't like to give a voice of public opinion simply because anything I say, Clarence, will be the result of it will seem like crying over spilled milk. So I wish the leadership well. I'm concerned about the stability of the House, but I will leave them to do what they think best.
Okay. Let's move now to some of your writings. You wrote 6 days ago, you said, regarding the president's 3 bills submitted, I will support the Total Energies Production Sharing Agreement and the HPF Concession Agreement. These are solid investments for the future of Liberia's resources. I will oppose Atlas Oranto Production Sharing Agreement, Oranto, but its track record shows that it does not mean well for Liberia. It does not have the capacity to engage in the activity for which it has been contracted. The last time Oranto got a production sharing agreement from Liberia, it was so corrupt that it had to be cleaned through a Canadian company in order for it to be purchased by Chevron. Oranto, you say, is a flipper to avoid transparency and accountability and will benefit only a few Liberians, which they would never name. The same block was the subject of negotiations with ExxonMobil, an American company with a solid record of production. The government must explain why it walked out from ExxonMobil for a more dubious arrangement with a 419 company. How do you explain this, Potter?
It's based on research, okay? We all know when Oranto was here, all the hullabaloo and noise behind Oranto the last time. So when it came out that they have a production sharing agreement, I had to go back to research. Global Witness did a research on it, came to the same conclusion. ProPublica did a research on it, came to the same conclusion. Front Page Africa came to the same conclusion. So we quoted these sources. We made our conclusion based on research, not just on our opinion. Now, the basic thing as a lawyer, then I took the agreement to try to look at it just from a legal standpoint. This is the area of law that I practice: corporate law, corporate agreements, and those kind of things, government agreements. The first thing I had to look at is Oranto does not have the capacity to do deep water exploration or production. It simply does not, okay? So if you're getting into a contract with someone who doesn't have the ability to perform that contract, then you have to question the purpose of the contract. And that's the first thing I did. Say, okay, why would we be doing a contract with Oranto? They don't have the capacity. The people with the capacity are Total, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other companies I named. Oranto is not one of them. So why Oranto is my question. That's some of the questions I'm posing. And then as I delve into the deal, then it raises more question that there is something maybe behind this deal that is not being explained, and it must be explained. The other thing I looked at as a lawyer is there's poor drafting, because when you drafting a contract, you got to draft it consistent with law. There are several provisions here that are not consistent with the law, and they could be fixed, because the agreement, in my mind, should go back to the president. The president should instruct his team of negotiators and lawyers to look at those areas of concern and see. But the reason why I think this contract is irredeemable is simply because Oranto does not have the capacity. Okay? If you want to give it to Oranto for another reason, then let's take the reason in there. Okay, let's say it. We're going to give it. I mean, somebody called me and said, oh, that's regional allocation, and so, Nigeria did very well for Liberia. I agree. Let's say that. Let's say to Nigeria, because you did so well for us during our civil crisis, you brought boots on the ground, so many lives were lost here. We want to give you 4 oil blocks, Nigeria, right? Then we give it to them. If they give it to Oranto, that's it. I would be in favor of that arrangement. But to do a production sharing agreement with a contractor who does not have that capacity raises concern.
If you wanted to talk about some of the reasons why you think the agreement is inconsistent with existing laws on the ground, what are some of the examples you share?
Well, let me just look at something. Let me just look at some provisions here. I'll just give you a few, maybe 1 or 2. Okay. The first thing is, and someone said Oranto's signature bonus is $12 million. That is completely untrue. Okay? In section 16.3
of the proposed agreement.
Mm-hmm. It says signature and production bonus. A for production for signature bonus is $1.25 million. In A, $1.25 million for
signature bonus.
For signature
and
bonus.
not 12.
It's not 12 million. It's right here. I will leave it with. I will give you a copy to read. The other things that are there.
Councilor, you won't put the mark, so every time you talk, it should be.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So every time every time you look at, when you look at the rest of the monies that will be paid, are what they call production bonus. You're not going to pay it unless you do a phase, right? The important thing that is not listed here is, imagine Oranto is getting 4 oil blocks. They have not paid for 1 data. you're going to buy land and you don't do no survey. Can you imagine that? You're going to buy land, but you don't do no survey. We know that Total paid $3.5 million for their survey. Toronto did not pay. Now, what is inconsistent with the law says all monies received, except for data payment, should go into the consolidated fund. The agreement says $400,000 will go to LPRA, and then $850,000 to consolidated fund. That is inconsistent with law. Then it comes back, okay? In the same clause 16, it said the bonus due under clause A of this section shall be recoverable as petroleum costs. You know what I mean? It means that the money you pay when you flip or you start producing, you can take it back. If you owe us $100.
In this case, the company.
Yes, in this, the $1.25 million that Oranto going to pay upfront, okay, whenever they flip or they start production and they owe Liberia, let's assume $10 million, they get to deduct that $1.25 million.
They flip meaning what?
If they sold to somebody else. Because they don't have the capacity. Oranto will have no choice but to go sell it to ExxonMobil or one of the big companies.
Is that agreement before you now?
Which agreement?
That one, the proposed agreement. Is it before you, meaning the legislature?
Yes. I got it from my office.
Is that why you're arguing now? Is it on the floor? Are you debating it?
No, we're not debating it. It went to committee. And I have informed the committee. And then I gradually, as I read, I inform the public as to what I'm seeing in the agreement.
Then there is another portion. You say, under 16.3 of the Oranto production sharing agreement, every cent Oranto spent to acquire the block will be, okay, that the one you just talked about,
yes,
will be reimbursed to him.
Yes.
When it flips. To him, in this case, to the very Oranto.
To the very Oranto.
He will
so you make an investment. Every investor, right, when you come to make an investment somewhere, you got to feel it in your pocket. Okay, investment is risk, right? But if I come to you, look, this Oranto agreement, I think Liberia should give it to me. I'm a Liberian. I'm entitled, to our resources. I can raise $1.2 million or $3 million or $5 million, and I get it back when I flip it and make $200 million. Any Liberian can do this. Okay, we don't need Oranto to do it under the arrangement that they have given, because all the money you spend up front, you get it back.
Okay, so I just wanted to raise your issues before I start to ask you questions. Then you go on to say, according to the 2019 Petroleum Law, Section 36A, Liberians are entitled to receive 5% of each block, while Nuka will receive 10%. The Oranto agreement says Nuka will get the 15%, and Liberians should leave their own with God. And if in 180 days after they found oil, and Nuka does not speak for us, Oranto gets the 15% free, section 17.1 AR. Either this is a weakness in negotiation or a form of wickedness. If this is what you say is true, is this in our provision? Why somebody want to change it? 5% for Liberian, 10% to Nuka, and they say the entire 15 should go to Nuka?
Okay, so the way the agreement is structured, you have 100%, that's the block, right? 85% goes to the contractor.
The company.
10% goes to NOCA, 5% citizen participation, all right?
Citizen participation in the country or owning share?
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever way the citizens will participate
but 5%.
That have been identified will be 5%. Then the agreement says NOCA will hold that 5% for Liberians. Okay, the citizen participation, NOCA will hold that 5%. So that's 10 plus 5, that's 15 NOCA holding. It will lapse if after the found oil in 180 days, NOCA does not exercise the right to claim that percentage. What is bad about this is then it goes down at the end of the day, right? Even though we have this citizen participation, Section 35 says, apart from the state, the authority, and the contractor, no person shall have rights under this contract. NOCA don't have rights. Citizens don't have rights. If it's about to lapse and citizens as beneficiary cannot file a lawsuit or cannot impose their rights on it, then what is it? It's nothing. So it's an empty gesture. It's a provision that needs to be reviewed and examined.
Now, even though a former speaker, but as a member of parliament, very influential, how do you intend to do this thing? Isn't committee rules going to come for debate? I mean, in the midst of all your reading, you're going to debate this thing. You should be forming a strong team now to oppose in the event it comes.
Oh, of course. Everything we send to our Facebook page, plus more. We are informing our colleagues and we're having our internal discussions. I think, on Thursday we're gonna put a more detail, which will have some tech. I don't put the technical flaws on the Facebook page because it will be difficult for the citizens to be able to follow because they don't have the benefit of technical advisors like I do who are familiar with the oil sector. So that would be my detailed letter to the House when I recommend on Thursday that we send it back.
How do you determine capacity here? As I keep hearing saying, Oranto does not have the capacity. How do you determine capacity?
Their track record and what they are doing. We went to the industry and said, look, who are the companies that have been doing or have the capacity to do deep water drilling? Ours is ultra deep. Which companies can do this? And Oranto, not one of them. We asked specifically about Oranto, and they told us Oranto's capacity. That's why we have said that they do not have the capacity because the industry says they don't.
How long did plenary give the committee to come up with recommendation or their report?
I'm not sure, Clarence. I was not in session that day.
Do you go to section regularly?
Yes. I only skip Thursday session.
You were also talking about a bill you want to submit that is going to be called a social safety network fund that you say should be delegated to helping vulnerable people to pay school fees and rent in the tune of $25 million. What's the idea?
The idea here is, Clarence, this is a recurring thing that we've had in Liberia. People come, oh, counselor, please help me with my rent. Or counselor, school not open, please help me with the children's school fee. So if I had 10 people in the past, 2 or 3 used to do it. Now we get to the rate of 6 or 7. Coupled with the fact that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that things are tough right now in Liberia. Things are tough on Liberian families. And it should not be up to individuals to be philanthropic to be able to help people. Mm-hmm. This is why we have government. Even in the great United States, they have food stamps, they have other social programs that assist citizens. Because as a Liberian citizen, there are certain places government should not allow you to fall below, even though we are a poor country. But there are certain things we can afford. So I sat down with some of my policy experts and said, look, let's look at our financial situation. Let's see if we can provide relief. So we think $25 million, although it's a drop in the bucket, it's a start. Okay? What we are designing now is the program of how it can be allocated. But I think government must be sensitive. We in the government must be sensitive enough to understand that it's tough right now on our citizens. Okay? And we may say, oh, give me the money. But if you give me money right now, I will give it to the people who I know. That's not a fair, equal distribution. We are pretty close to the thing where Liberians say, you'll sell the country and divide the money. That's not what I'm saying now. But I'm saying some of that money that comes into this country, help your fellow Liberians out. And that is the intent of this legislation.
What's the idea? Pull it through an institution and because sometimes you got to be careful with these kinds of initiatives.
Agreed.
You look at the intention very well.
Agreed.
Sometimes the end result is going to bring a lot of hello ballo. What's your idea? Pull it through?
Okay, so as a lawyer, I really do not reinvent the wheel. I try my very best not to reinvent the wheel. The United States used to do, and it has been taken over, I think, by some other countries, used to do cash transfers, right? Social cash transfers to poor families, all right? So there's already a system that is set up. All you have to do is expand the capacity of those who are administering that system to be able to administer other social programs. I would not be in favor of a purely government entity, because then it gets all kinds of things. So those who are already doing it under the social, the cash transfer program, try and increase their capacity, let the money be available, vouchers be paid to schools, vouchers be paid to landlords, and they go to the Ministry of Finance or to the central bank or to whatever bank that it is and cash their vouchers based on the qualification of the individuals.
You're doing that this Thursday, or you've done it?
No. So we've put the letter on the floor. We are designing the program to ask the legislature to include in the budget.
As I look in your face and with some of the answers to my questions you're providing, it seems you're getting tired with something. It seems, in your opinion, we are not going anywhere. Am I correct?
No, I can't say that. I can tell you individually, I'm exhausted, to be honest with you. You put a lot into public service. You come in here with a vision, okay, and certain ideas, and it does not work, okay, because of the nature of the society we have. So you can't continue to do the same thing if you don't get any results. So yes, I'm a little bit tired. Maybe it's time to do something else.
You're not going to seek to retain your office?
No.
In 2029?
No, I'm not returning to Capitol Building in 2029.
You're on record?
No, of course.
You're not returning. Focus on your loyalty.
I think 2 terms as a lawmaker is a good thing. I was fortunate enough to be elected by my colleagues as Speaker, short as it may be. I think it's a good record for me. Let others.
Is this the legislature you envisage? I'm not talking about because you were removed. I'm talking about when you were planning to become a lawmaker. Did you think your colleagues and some other people would join you, do it differently?
Yeah, I thought we would have a more accountable body, a more transparent body. I thought we would have a body that is more robust in coordination with the executive. When I say in coordination with the executive, not to rubber stamp everything that come there, but to challenge, to question, to pose, so that in the end, what people don't understand in democracy is almost like a courtroom. It's an adversarial system, the opposition and the ruling and the government in power. When they argue, the truth will eventually come out. Let me give you an example. You remember the yellow machine noise that came? Mm-hmm. Few people know what happened, right? But it was actually a negotiation between the executive and the legislature. When the noise came, as I usually do, I called the president, I sat and talked about it. And Grisby, who was the point man, the focus man, when I can't get the president, I called Grisby. Grisby will come to my office, okay? After discussion, I told him, and after we sent for them, right? And then the president sent a letter on what it was. I told Grisby, frankly, Grisby, you don't send it here. We're not pass here. You
said that to him?
Yes. Okay. And they found another way. And as a result of that negotiation between us, discussion, background, okay, the cost of that yellow machine reduced from 80 million to, I think it's 21 million
22,
now.
23, somewhere around.
Exactly. Okay. That is what I envisaged. That we will coordinate, but we will maintain our independence and our grounds. I don't think we were successful in that.
Have you given up on Liberia's governance and democracy?
I can never give up on Liberian government and democracy, and that is why I continue to remain active and engaged. The role I play may be different.
You could come back in another form, not necessarily a lawmaker.
I don't know what that form is. It's still early. The only thing I know is I'm not returning to Capitol Building. Whatever else God has in his plans for us, we will be submissive to it.
Could you be a good president?
Hey, look, when you talk about president and you list people along the level of popularity, I don't think Fonati Koffa comes in the first 100. So
you erase that.
So I like to be realistic. That is not in my plans.
Grand Crew County Representative, former Speaker, Councillor Jonathan Fonati Koffa is our guest this morning. We're talking about the Oranto deal He thinks the company lacks capacity to do what it says it wants to do in Liberia. The instrument has been faking up to the committee room, and well, he says it's a bad deal. They don't have the capacity. One other thing he's talking about is there is a provision of the law that 5% will go to Liberia. Now he's saying on the proposed arrangement, NOCAD is going to take the 15% instead of take 10 and 5 for Liberia. We hope the coming days we can get people from the National Oil Company of Liberia to respond. When last did you go to your constituency?
Clarence, I have not been home since elections.
Since elections?
Since elections.
Why?
Okay, so right after elections, you recall there was the speaker race, which we were deeply engaged in. Right after the speaker race, we were engaged in deeply trying to maintain the stability of the place as the ruling party sought to dislodge me. And based on all of those, and given the circumstances that was involved, I was able to go back. We have a trip planned for this December to go back and be able to explain. The one thing I really love about my constituency, the level of support has been amazing. So we'll go back to them and say, look, yes, what we tried to do, yes, how you are going to benefit. It didn't work, but we are still here to conclude the final 4 years of our journey.
They stood with you in all this?
Yes, absolutely. Even when people were planning to try to go to my district and cause problem and create demonstration, our people told them, you're not going to bring that here.
Is the House of Representatives stable now, in your opinion? What do you think?
No comment on that.
No comment?
Yes. Again, I don't want to get into the nuances of house politics.
It seems there's another revolution, Koffa.
Where?
I don't know.
But you don't know why you're talking about it.
You should be commenting.
About revolution?
I mean, what I'm saying, your no comment, it kind of put everybody on their heels.
No, it can't put people on their heels.
If Fonati Koffa would say no comment.
No, it can't put anybody on their heels simply because I'm not involved in house politics. I do my work. I review bills and agenda that comes in. I stick to that. What's going on in the halls, I will be the least person you will be able to get any objective opinion for because I simply don't know.
You're still a member though.
Yeah, I'm a member.
You're voting, you're participating, you're debating.
Yes, and that's what that's the lane I stay on. That's the lane I stay on. Whatever else is happening in the house, politically or on the chessboard, I'm not familiar.
How is former President Weah, by the way?
He's doing good. He's on a FIFA trip right now.
Okay, let's go to the lines and take some calls right here. Former Speaker Fonati Koffa is here this morning on the Morning Rush as our guest. Call us on 0777-700-99 and 555-995-995 are the numbers to call. Thanks to our colleagues, a lot of our colleagues are here doing different online streaming. Let's talk to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, just call your radio off. Do us a favor, please.
Hello.
Yeah. No, it's not okay yet. It's not okay yet.
Hello.
Why don't you just switch it off? Just call it off. Call it off. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. We can't get you. Good morning.
Peace.
Good morning.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to the listeners following our broadcast this morning. I'm Christian, and I'm Christian. Pray for enemy by and I do join the conversation this morning for the headquarters of the Veterans Bureau.
It's been a long time, Christian. How are you?
I'm doing well, veteran. Let me appreciate you on the Baguba Avenue in Toho community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me appreciate the Honorable J. Fonati Koffa and that of Piso for the brilliant analysis. Honorable, I just want to use this time to encourage you to fight hard and continue to fight for the Liberian people. We have been one person who have followed your track record, and we know that you stand from the people for the people. So I want you to fight hard. More especially this deal that is being started things within the corridor of the legislature. I want you to use your lobbying power, and your colleague can be able to do the right thing. on behalf of the Liberian people.
Okay, let me take this call from Minnesota in the U.S. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning, sir.
Is the show live? I'm getting different signals these days. I don't know how you got the programs.
No. We were off the radio we're off the air for 2 weeks. We are back today.
Oh yeah, back. Is there the former speaker in studio, right?
Of course, yes. This is live. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm Thomas William calling from Minnesota. Mr. Jackson, good morning to you and your studio guests. Mr. Jackson, do you know who is a sunshine patriot?
I don't know. Who do you even call a sunshine patriot, by the way?
These are temporary patriots. People who only support their country during fair weather. They are fair weather supporters. When things are right, yes, in their own interest, then they become patriot or patriotic citizens. They are sunshine patriots. These are people who have now dedicated service to their country genuinely and fair and dedication, commitment to country. These are people who refer to as sunshine patriots. You see, all what former speaker is saying, these are all very, very good points. He's raising, making sure this country called Liberia moves forward. Unfortunately, it becomes very difficult for critical minds to really, really absorb it and see it in a good fit. Because when you are given the opportunity, when you are in the power of change, if you are occupying a position where you can make significant change, and you did absolutely nothing, the only thing we remember Speaker Koffa for is audit. He wanted to audit the legislature, and the friends went against him. Like, oh, there's a man who served
at least you can remember him for something. It means he stood up for something, right?
Yeah, they said only audit. You remember, and audit that never happened. Looking at the 1979 arrest riot, where people suggested that arrest price going on and walking. That's how his audit business looked like. But let me go to my point. This man was in a position that he could effect change in the country. Deputy Speaker, there's a man who joined Weah budget, and the budget was passing less than 3 hours on it as Deputy Speaker. You understand?
So when he became speaker, he was now the head of the legislature. That somebody would say the vice president is a ceremonial position. So he was now the head of the legislature, and he wanted to effect change.
The journey of a 1,000 miles begins with the first step. What did he do as Deputy Speaker and one of the ranking members of CDC, somebody who could just walk across the executive mansion and talk about investment? We have a president now who is dedicated and committed in making sure Liberian people have what to do.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Let's take other callers. We'll go to Paris in France and take another caller from France. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence. Good morning to your studio again, Frank Gibson. I call from Paris.
Frank Gibson, all the calling you can call here, my man. President Weah was in Paris. They had town hall meeting. I expected you to be over there to raise serious issue. I didn't see you.
Yeah, I should have gone there, man, but I have very important thing to go do. Then to go sit and see Joseph Weah.
No, but you should have gone there to engage him face to face, my man.
Clarence, I have very important things to do than to go waste my time and see Joseph Weah sitting somewhere and just. You want to answer the question, they will tie you down because they will pick and choose people who they want to give the mic to.
My man, you didn't go to the play, man. You didn't go there. Go ahead.
Go stage manage thing. So I have very, very important things that will benefit.
Okay, go ahead. Go with your point.
Thank you very much. Honorable, I'm not talking much about the legislature because that place is not anything correct now. But something very important you said that caught my mind is the contractor is not in town, and there will be a bidding, and there will be a permit check. Knowing the kind of government that you have in Liberia, those people that are not even in favor of the CDC, I think you should have done all of that, Honorable, making sure the permit has been served to your contractor, everything is in place before announcing these things. Because I'm a little bit afraid. This government is going to delay some of these things, don't put in some technicality to delay your project. I think you guys should rather be focused and make sure that these things work very in line before a delay, because it's concerning.
Okay, Frank. Thank you so much. Let's go back here. Let's get this. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah?
Thank you very much. This is Achifana.
Oh, actually, it's been a while, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. The first almost thing I want to ask whether there is a former prosecutor for the civil money case, as to whether as well he was in the former president of the President Selly's acting at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. As well, I want to also find out as to whether he was the Deputy Speaker under the President.
Yeah, he is the one. He's the one.
I also want to find out as to whether he was the former Speaker. But here is the point. If I were you, in interviewing all of the portfolio the brother had, why he said that he did not propose all of these issues at the time when he has the gavel of authority? Why not? Why it is true that it could be good to propose it now, but when you have the gavel of authority, it won't cause problem to raise these issues. So my point here is that if we have authority, we utilize it for the good of the people. When authority leaves us, we start coming out, we'll get challenges in order for us to solve this problem.
Okay.
Why do you say that? Yeah, because I want to believe that during President Selly and the people were suffering. Under President Weah and the people were suffering. Why the $25 million bill that was not intended to provide aid power? Because even Gido and his mindset was suffering. Thank you very much.
Okay. We're taking two more. Then we go back to former Speaker Koffa. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Yeah?
And let me say good morning to the former Speaker, Councillor Fonati Koffa. My name is David Kuye Nangwe, and I call from a Dogom Navy resident this morning. You know, Clarence, as I start and listen to Councillor Fonati Koffa, I begin very disappointed in the mindset of Liberian politicians. Imagine a former Speaker, a former Deputy Speaker, former Minister of State who have portfolio with all the influence and authority. He's telling us, and he wants us to believe that he now cares for us to the extent that he's talking about putting people like doing something. When you have the power, when you have the influence to shift the power down in the interest of the people, why didn't he do it? So it just raises issue about the sincerity of our leaders and our political politicians. You know, I'm very disappointed because your statement shows no grain of sincerity. You have power. If you are sure about that, you could lead a change that you envision. You cannot lead power no more have the influence and great power, and you want to profess that you love Liberia.
Okay. Well, we'll go right back. I'm trying to make a particular call only for 1 minute because of information the president just sent out relating to Councillor Koffa and what we are discussing here. I want the president himself to say it, not just text message, because the president will be the best president. Hello, final caller. Hello.
Thank you, Clarence. I'm the final caller. Your former friend, Weah.
Okay.
I met deliberately, you now pick my call. By the time we're on break.
You're on the radio.
Thank you. Clarence, let me say thank to, Councillor Koffa. Somebody asking a question that the time you were there, why you talking about? The time Koffa was in leadership, we were never talking about Oranto due that he's trying to, oppose. I know the type of man, when he is charity, he will not come and support such deal like that. So don't ask him to say what he said, because that time the deal was not on the call. You see? So you can blame him for that. And Koffa, let me commend you how to stand your ground. The people of Oranto will always check you and count you. Some of all are coming, incoming lawmaker in that district.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, the man are open floodgate for you, man. I was trying to get to Cecilia Clark, police spokeswoman. She just sent me a message. She says it is not true. The police did not relieve Brian McGill. He is not a free man. In fact, let me read word for word, because there were callers this morning who said the police have released him. He was a free man. She said, Clarence, it's not true. Brian has not been cleared by the police. Whoever provided that information is false and misleading, as investigation is still ongoing. So she said, Brian McGill is now a free man. The people who said it, the money your lie. Councillor Koffa, how are you? You listen to the cause.
Yes. So let me address the issue of why now. You see, it is when you don't understand government, then somebody will come and say, oh, why when you were deputy speaker you didn't do this, or why. I don't run myself and my confidences on Facebook, right? So any advice I would have given President Salif during the time I was minister, right? That is an advice I gave to a president. That is for the president to reveal. It is not for me. Any fights I had, okay, that is not for me to come and tell anyone. I live and die with the fact that I work for President Salif. Whatever decision she made, yes, we all inherit that, right? Because if it was so egregious for me to disagree with, I would leave. As Speaker, let's go to Speaker. Clarence, I just told you, if I had a disagreement with the president, I pick up the phone. The minute I call the president picks up my call on the first ring. Okay? If we can meet, either Graceway comes over or the president and I meet in the evening. If I can voice my opposition or my concerns to him and have policy effective that way, for me, that is what the speaker should do. Now, I'm a backbencher. I ain't even got lesson plate. Okay, if I call it.
What do you mean?
But I get no lesson plate. I drive my private lesson plate. I've been requesting lesson plate from the house.
Did they assign one to you?
No. Okay, so I'm a backbencher. I can't even get my legislative project funded. You know, to have appointment to talk to the president. Probably it will have to be appointment like any ordinary lawmaker at the president's time. Things are happening. So the only platform or forum I have now is my colleagues and to tell the public, this is my position on this issue. If I was speaker, no, you wouldn't see me going on Facebook and writing my concerns about the agreement, because I would call the very people who sent the agreement, even probably before the agreement came. I would have had the opportunity to review it and say, no, don't send that thing here. Or change this, change that, change the other. All right? So the dynamics is the role that you are giving. Okay? I told my people all the time, even those who get angry with me, unlike the current speaker who say I'm a regime speaker, I endeavor not to be an opposition speaker. I endeavor to be the speaker of the Republic of Liberia. And in that case, it requires coordination. It requires that when I have issue and I have access to the presidency, okay, and ministers come at my beck and call, I tell them what I need corrected. All right? I didn't think going on Facebook or advocacy is my role. But now I'm a backbencher. You know, I'm nobody. I have a right now to say and do, to say what I please and to point these things out to the public. So public policy makers who are in those positions now can consider that. So to say you didn't do it before, and then when you come say why you didn't, Oranto didn't come, I wish you would read the committee report when President Weah submitted Ibamoff and Eton loans. The Judiciary Committee, which I had, okay, did a very detailed report on that, okay, recommending against it. So, you know, they didn't follow it, so you will come and say, oh, you didn't do that. My record is clear. Every advice I gave President Weah, every decision President Weah made, I stand by it because I was part of that government. Yes, you can hold me responsible, but I'm not going to tell you what position I'm in leadership, what position I took when the president was making consideration. Unfortunately, that is not how government is run.
Why am I getting too many text messages and how to call it stuff, WhatsApp messages from people putting me under the impression that you are running as senator in Montserrat? I don't know where it's coming from. Look, I sit here, I just receiving a lot of text messages.
I saw some, I think, flyers or whatever you call it. Clarence, I'm telling you, my plane.
Your henna inside.
Yes. Okay. It's not to return to Capitol building.
Yeah, because I'm just getting a lot of messages.
I am flattered that people will think that I should. Okay. But that is not within my immediate plans or my path for myself. I have some personal development things I need to do. You know, I'm getting up there in age. I have some things I want to enjoy. I want to travel. I want to see my kids do well. I want those personal things. Since 2005, I've been involved in and around Liberian politics, as a professional, sometimes, my goal is to see the CDC return to power in 2029. When that happens, I'll be happy to take a back seat.
To take a back seat?
Yes.
You're leading a CDC project when the headquarters is constructed and completed and dedicated, and CDC comes back to power. Now you're pulling me under the pretense that you will take a back seat?
I said I will be happy to. I don't know what I will be asked to do, but I will be happy to take a back seat if that happens. Because then what I would have been working for would have been accomplished.
Councillor Koffa, it's been a wonderful time talking to you. I know we'll always have these opportunities. I will always extend you opportunities when I think it's time for you to come in. But thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be here today.
Thanks for having me, Clarence.
Former House Speaker Jonathan Fonati Koffa was here as our guest this morning. He says, no. The rumor about senatorial race in Montserrat, Clarence, I'm going anywhere. Even the Grand Crew team, let them take it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm aging now. I want to have some rest. I want to focus on my children, my grandchildren. I want to travel a lot and do other things. Jonathan Fonati Koffa says that on the OK Morning Rush.